So today I'm headed over to Monoprix and I am going to show you how to find baking products, things to bake things with, like mostly desserts. So I know when I first moved here, one of the first things I had to figure out is what's flour? What's sugar? How do you find powdered sugar? What about baking soda and baking powder? So come on along with me inside. We'll take a walk and I will find all of those things for you and show you what they look like so that when you move to France, you can make a list and you'll know exactly what you're looking for.
I watch you as you drive. Do you know I'm looking? And I can't help but smile. Do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on, I put my feet up, and we just sing along. And I can't help but feeling, just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time, don't you know that I would? 'Cause I'm just loving.
So as you can see, it is strawberry season here in France. They're still kind of expensive, although look at this box of strawberries up here. It's €8.90 for all of those strawberries. These are less expensive. Then we have these strawberries. These are only $3.99, but they're smaller strawberries. Not as many as there are in the box. Well, wouldn't it figure? The one day that I'm coming here to show you things that you use to bake with, they're out of eggs. Due to a supply problem, they're unable to offer their normal supply of eggs. I wonder what that means. Very unusual. They normally have eggs, but here are some of the prices. So quite a bit lower than in the United States. This is €4.55 for 12, €2.39 for 6. But they have to restock the shelves. So now we're in the butter area. Now my favorite one is this one. So this one is made in Normandy and it has salt crystals on it. It's definitely my favorite. Some people I've heard of this particular brand, Grand Cru. I've never tried it. And maybe one day I will, but not today. But this is just another one that many people talk about as being absolutely fantastic. There's a smaller version. But there's a whole case. I mean, you'll never run out of butter. Butter is very easy to find in a French grocery store. And Typically, I like to go for butters that are made in Normandy. And as I said, that one's my favorite. Okay, now if you use different kinds of milks in your baking, this one looks like almond, some kind of vegetable. That looks like oat. I don't use any of these things. I don't even drink milk. Sorry, I don't like milk. So these are containers of creams, different versions of creams. So occasionally for baking, I may buy some of these, or for some sort of a creamed food that I'm making. But these are things that you can look for in the grocery store. Okay, now we're here in the milk department. And here in France, of course, you don't need to keep milk in the refrigerator, although we do, and when we buy it, we very rarely buy milk because neither of us use it for anything. So you have full milk. I don't even know what all of these milks are. But milk is pretty easy to find. So that one looks like maybe milk and cream. Baking soda. If you're looking for baking soda, this is what to look for. Bicarbonate. I have found this in some stores in the cleaning aisle, some stores in the aisle with first aid type things. But this is what you need.
Is there salt and pepper at home?
So you can look for that. And then we have all different kinds of salt. I normally buy sea salt, so you have all different versions of sea salts, different colors of sea salt. And remember, if you're going to buy it for a grinder, you need to buy coarse. Okay, so these are yeasts. And this looks like cornmeal. Different kinds of cornmeal. Tapioca. This would be, like breadcrumbs. And we have sesame. And other things. And then we have more milks up there. So in here we have cans of fruit. I don't generally use any canned anything, really. So now these are baking powders. So poudre à laver. And then we have, this is a vanilla sugar with bourbon. And vanilla extract comes in packages. I also find this in bottles. I'll see if I can find some bottles of it here while I'm here. So we have all of these little bags. It's interesting to see how many different versions they have. All vanilla. And this is a thick one, comes with a number of packages, so if you do a lot of baking, this would be something you would want to get.
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a, chérie? T'as eu peur? Non, n'abuse pas.
C'est soit les popcorn, soit ça.
See, more baking powder. This looks like it is something to make your tart shiny. Makes them brilliant. So I haven't tried this yet. I haven't made any fruit tarts. I'm not sure that I would be looking for something to make them shiny. I'd sort of just want them to be the way they come out, but who knows? I guess there's something for everybody. Okay, farine is flour. So, and I'm here today to buy some flour. And I generally buy this. When I was in the U.S., I used to buy King Arthur baking flour. At the moment, I'm not sure which one is like the best to buy, but I have been buying this and it works out great. Okay, then we come over to the sugar. Now this says powdered sugar. The reality is it's crystallized sugar. It's like in the U.S., if you just bought a box or a container of sugar, this is what you would get. If you want the real powdered sugar, I'll show you what that is in a second. First, I want to put this in my bag. I also buy cane sugar like this. This is brown sugar. So you buy brown sugar. So again, that is actually granular sugar, like you would put in a cup of coffee. Okay, and then we have these. I buy these for our coffee. I don't know, I just kind of like little cubes, so we have it. Okay, now if you really want powdered sugar, you want to look for sucre glace. Sucre glace is powdered sugar. And there are more sugars. Here we have coconut sugar. I've never seen this before, but I don't know what I would use it for. I really don't do a lot with coconut, but it's here if you need it. And up there in this particular store we have the agave if you're trying to reduce your sugar. So we do have things like stevia, and I guess you could use them in baking as well. I don't. Oh, and of course, here are all the oils, just like you'd find in the U.S. So you have vegetable oils and you have safflower oils. One thing we don't have here is Pam, which is sometimes a little bit of an annoyance, especially if you're baking and you need to grease and flour a pan real quick. Used to be nice to have my can of Pam from the United States, just quickly spray it on the baking pan and then dump some flour in to powder it. But you can't do that here. You've got to do it the old-fashioned way, the way we did it in the U.S. before there was Pam. Okay, so then we have bags of prunes and raisins and nuts, and I mean those things are easy to find when you're in, so you don't really need my help. And dates and figs, more raisins, cranberries, so you'll find all of those things easy to find. But initially, when you first get here, if you don't know French, the question always comes up, well, how do you say flour? How do you say sugar? How do you say baking powder? But I mean, we all know what nuts and dried fruits look like. Okay, and here we have a whole rack of all different kinds of nuts and different kinds of powder, almond powder. more different kinds of raisins, and these are chopped nuts, pine nuts, chocolate chips. If you're looking for chocolate chips are, whoops, pépite. So those are fairly easy to find. And you can find chocolate chunks, all different kinds of chocolate. Dark chocolate, white chocolate. They do a lot of, they make cookies that are flavored with orange flour. And so this is orange flour, I guess orange flour water or orange flour oil. And we have different extracts, different flavorings for creams, vanilla beans. So these things are easy to find. And of course we have shredded coconut. And here we go. Here's a bottle of vanilla. I actually prefer to use the vanilla beans for a lot of things. Whoops. Typically the vanilla beans are expensive. But if I don't need a lot, it's not a big deal. So these are orange slices to use for confits. And gelatin. They don't sell Jell-O here, but here's a package of gelatin, powdered gelatin. Okay, and then you find your rack of seasonings, spices, and herbs. And typically for baking, there's ginger, and cannelle is cinnamon. They don't do a lot of things with cinnamon here, so if you want something that's flavored with cinnamon, you pretty much have to do it yourself. There's cardamom, but we always have lots of cinnamon at home because I do love cinnamon. Here's another thing, lemongrass. A lot of things are flavored with lemongrass, so you never know when you're going to need some lemongrass. It's called citronnelle. And of course you'll find all kinds of peppercorns here, all different flavors. I'm basically trying to concentrate on just things you need for baking, so that you know where to begin if you're going to start baking for the first time when you get to France. But while I'm here, you can see there are lots of other spices and seasonings, curry, red curry. Pretty much you'll find everything you need and then some. Over here you'll find, this looks like spices for bread. Here we have some, looks like coconut milk without sugar. So you can pretty much find all kinds of milks here that are not from an animal. This soy. Looks like vanilla soy milk, chocolate soy milk. And little mini containers of almond milk. Chocolate almond milk. Well, that's a new one on me. But as I said, I don't use or drink any of these things. But I'm just showing you, this one looks like rice milk down there. Okay, honey is also very easy to find in maple syrup. Syrup? That is maple syrup, so you don't have to do without maple syrup when you come here. You can use it for cooking, baking. And all different kinds of honeys. Here's honey made with lavender, or from lavender, lavender honey, I guess from the bees. And Nutella is used a lot here for desserts or crepes. And it's very easy to find peanut butter here in France now. It wasn't always like that, but now it is. So no concerns about being without peanut butter. And look, you'll even find Skippy. The Skippy, the small jar of Skippy peanut butter is €6.19. And lots of confiture, which are kind of like preserves, like not quite jelly, but better than jelly. So all different flavors. I like the Baume de Menthe brand, and you can get just about any kind of fruit that you like in that brand. Here's another brand of orange flour. And let's see what's in that. Okay, and then we have this. This is for cream frangipane. And I believe that this is used in cakes. There's a recipe for a galette des rois, which is basically a king cake. So this is probably some of the creamy, yummy stuff. And this is probably the mix to make it. I've never used it. But if that's what you're thinking of doing, it's easy to find. And surprisingly, they do have dessert mixes in a box. I tend to make everything from scratch, but if you want to save some time, there's chocolate chip cookies. There's even the lemon citron cake. I don't know, I think it's better to do it from scratch. But if you're feeling kind of lazy, just go to your grocery store and grab a box. Okay, for those of you looking for cream cheese, they do have Philadelphia brand cream cheese, but when you ask for it, they call it Philadelphia. So they don't call it cream cheese, they call it Philadelphia. So when you see it on menus, maybe you'll see toast in Philadelphia or a baguette with Philadelphia. And that's what they mean. It's actually cream cheese. And mascarpone is going to be mascarpone. Here's another mascarpone. So these things are easy to find. Next we have creme fraiche. Very hard to find sour cream. In fact, I've never found sour cream here in France. But what they do have is creme fraiche. I think it's richer. And it doesn't have, like sour cream has a bit of a tiny tang or tartness to it. You won't find that with creme fraiche. And this happens to be the brand that I always buy. It's comes from Normandy, where I think the best dairy products are made.
Well, here we are, egg shopping in France. And they like to say bio, so it's 10 eggs for 441 euros, or it's 6 eggs for 282, or it's 4 eggs for 257, or it's 12 eggs for 419, or it's 6 for 250.
Okay, a couple of things I didn't get in the grocery store because I could not find them. One of them is cocoa powder, but I have it at home here, so I pulled mine out. So we have, that is cocoa powder. So for some reason, Monoprix didn't have it today. And one other thing that comes up often is bacon. People say, oh my gosh, I really miss bacon. I haven't had bacon in so long. Poitrine fumée, bacon. See? Bacon. So you can have bacon anytime you want. You just need to know what to look for. So I hope I've helped you with your shopping. If you're already here in France, or if you're on your way, just so you know what to put on your shopping list next time you go to Monoprix, or the first time, when you're trying to stock up and make sure you have everything you need to bake a cake, bake muffins, whatever it is. I know those are the first things that I was looking for when we first got to France, and I am so glad that I found them. So these are all the things that are important to living here for a lot of us. I mean, if you like baking, got to know what things to look for when you want to buy the supplies. And, well, the bacon. That was one of the hard things to find, and I sort of stumbled on it one day. So, but you don't have to live without bacon, and bacon can be used for all kinds of things. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and Jeff and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.
over. I watch you as you sleep.